Mining jobs, reality versus expectations. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we are going to talk about the reality of mining jobs versus people's expectations that they have when they get into the industry. Before we start, I just want to say that everything that I'm talking about in this video is, it's all safety is above everything when you're talking about working on a mine site, so everything that you do should be looked at through the prism of safety first before you do it. However, there are certain realities that are involved. And with the jobs that we're talking about, we'll come over to the underground training website, and you can find this in the new starters column in the mining jobs flowchart there. And the jobs that we're talking about are the production mining jobs here. So these are the full-time jobs. These are the jobs that everybody really wants to get into because they're the ones that pay the most money for the people that don't have a trade or a degree. This is for the trade guys, and these are for the degree people. And all these three columns are all full-time work. Mining construction's really hit and miss at the moment with the project side of thing. Mining shut down, it's never full-time work, you're just bouncing from one contract to another. And utilities, unfortunately, they don't pay very much. While it's full-time work, a lot of people get into utility jobs thinking that they can make the jump into a mining job. Doesn't really happen like that. You can look at the videos that I've done on poaching staff on mine sites to the poaching rules to have a look at all that. So the next thing that we want to talk about is these are the mines that are located around the country, the gold and copper mines that are all looking for people. And the reason they're looking for people is because the gold price is over $4,000 an ounce and the copper price is over $14,000 a tonne. It's all about the money. That's why you're there, that's why you're doing the job, that's why they're paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to go and do these jobs. Don't kid yourself that it's not about the money. And the other thing that people have to get through their heads, and that they struggle getting through their heads, is 24/7, 365 days a year, which means that there's no extra days. So if you don't complete your tasks in the day and you don't get that production in, it means that it just gets added onto the next day and your task increases. And of course, it's really hard to catch that up, which is, it becomes, hard to do at times, and that's where people fall behind. And if you miss your target, you don't get the day back, if you know what I mean. They just book it as a loss, and it'll come out of bonuses or whatever it'll come out of. It's just booked as a loss, and that's something that people really find hard to get their head around. I found when they came into the industry is that it never there's no extra days. Every day's accounted for. If you don't get what you're supposed to get done in the 24 hours, it's booked as a loss. It's hard to get your head around, especially when you're coming from other industries where it's easy to make up time and you can do extra days and all that sort of stuff. Mining doesn't work like that, and if you try and bring that sort of stuff up, it gets shot down really, really quickly. So just be aware of that. The next thing is that when you do go and get a job, people find the job exciting at first, and then it can become boring. And how I'm going to show you that is that we're going to talk about these underground truck jobs that are around, and we're going to come over to my account in the underground training website. So I've just got my mining coach account, and we're going to come over to the truck operation course, and we're going to click on that. And you can see we're going to open up all the different lessons that they've got. So it's operating a truck, steering an articulated truck, focus points for turning, focus points, positioning a truck, the retarder, turning the truck, reversing the truck on the blind side, operating the truck smoothly. So, it's the whole job in this, and driving the truck down the decline, taking corners, turning down a decline, buckets in a truck, driving up the decline, rolling the roads in. It goes through the whole lot, so it teaches you exactly how the job entails. And for this one, we're going to talk about driving up the decline. And the reason that we're going to do the driving up the decline one is because of this little slide that we're going to watch, because this illustrates what driving up the decline is like. And after the first 6 months and the excitement of it all wears off, it can become very, very, very boring. It becomes a boring job. All the jobs become boring jobs. So we try and tell people to make a game of it. That's the best way to do it. Look for things on the decline, help the grader driver roll the roads in, look for rubbish on the levels, let the nipper know. It's all about using your time and trying to make a game of it. And it's not just this job, it's all the jobs all the way through, that you need, that become boring after a time. So you've got to make a game of it. And the other thing too is that, like, this is the whole truck driving job. So this teaches you everything that they're going to teach you on site to show you how to drive a truck. So it's a good idea, but it also, that's just driving the truck, and it's only part of the battle. And this is where the reality versus expectations comes into it big time, because the expectation is that all you have to do is learn this bit, is learn the truck operation. All I need to learn how to drive is drive the truck, and then I'll be fine to go. Where the actual reality of the situation is that you have to learn how the mine works so they can leave you alone in the truck to drive the truck by yourself. So you've got to know all this stuff. So the duties of miners, duties of employees, how the ventilation system works, ground support, development mining, the escapeways, production mining, paste fill, all the different jobs, scaling, so you need to know how to scale. Safety goes into safety and teaches you all the different safety things that you need to know, and surviving the 12 months and all that sort of stuff. And then it also, you need to learn this bit of it as well if you're going to drive a truck. So this is about nipper and other important duties, but also watering down, because as truck drivers you're going to be asked to water down headings and stopes all the time. And then we've got general information that you need to know, so like cap lamp signals, refuge chambers, pooled water, signage, isolation and tagging, stench gas, self-rescuers, fire and gases underground. Then the tag boards, so tag boards, tagging on, tagging off, firing times, pre-start meetings. It goes in parking underground. It goes into everything that you need to know so you can walk in the full bottle on day one. Because the hardest thing that people have with getting these jobs, and there's lots of these jobs around, and the reason that everybody wants experience, they don't necessarily want somebody that's driven a truck. When they say experience, they want somebody that knows how their mine works, so they know everything that I've just gone through in that training there. That's what they want you to know, because if you don't, you can drive an articulated truck and you can go and do a training ticket to learn to drive an articulated truck in a day or 2 days. It's not a hard thing to learn to do. And learning to drive the truck on site, it only takes a couple of weeks. Nobody fails at that. What everybody struggles with, and why they want experienced people and why they go through so many people, is because people, when they come in, they can't get their head around how it all works. And if you can't get your head around how it all works, you can't be left alone. And if you can't be left alone, then you don't have a job. It's as simple as that. And so, there's heaps of work all over the country. The best way to get a job is to educate yourself so you understand the reality. And when you can walk into the interview and you actually can talk to the foremans on these mines, or the project managers on these mines that are doing the hiring, about what the real expectations are that you're gonna have to deal with on site, and talk to them about the actual job, it changes the goalposts completely. It puts you 6 to 8 weeks ahead of everybody else that are going for these jobs. And if you want one of these jobs, you have to make yourself a real plan that's gonna give you the best chance of getting yourself in. And one of the most frustrating things that I find doing this job for underground training is that I come across a lot of people that have a fantasy about the job, and they make all these plans, and they sell dogs, and they move across the country and sell cars and do all sorts of stuff that's crazy, only to get here and then do the training and then work out that mining's not for them. Or worse, get up to site, do 3 or 4 days, find out it's not for them, and have to pull the pin. And if I joke around, if I had $5 for every time I've seen somebody get up there and only last less than 2 or 3 weeks and pull the pin because it's not what they thought it was, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be planning my next fishing trip or my next golf odyssey. they really do go through a lot of people, because it's not what people think. People have got this fantasy of driving a truck around all day and listening to tunes and getting paid $150,000 a year and not having to do a lot of work. Where the reality of the situation is, like with these underground truck jobs, there is a lot of pressure on you getting up and down the decline and making sure that you get your loads out and not getting in the way of everybody else, and paying attention and knowing what's going on around you. And if you don't know what's going on around you and you can't keep up, then you end up costing everybody a lot of money. But yeah, because I've done videos on that before about how inexperienced truck drivers can hold everybody else up, and that's a reality, and that comes into it all. So if you can't get up to speed quick enough, they'll tap you on the shoulder and say thanks but no thanks. So the reality versus expectations is there. If you want to learn how it all works, these are the training packages that we do. The do-it-yourself comes with full instructions on how to redo your resume and interview prep. The 3-step plan comes with a resume service with Jess that does the podcast with me, and the work ready, you get one of the shift bosses like myself to help prep you. So it becomes our job to make sure you've understood all the mining information from the training, and then we do a mock interview with you and just come up with a plan of where and how you're going to get in and help you work the plan. But there's lots of jobs all over the country. They're looking for people everywhere, and they want people that they can throw in the deep end. And the easiest way to be that person is to learn how it all works, and give them reality. Show them that you know how it all works and you know what you're getting yourself into. That's the way you'll get yourself a job, and that's the way people get jobs using the training that we've got. So I hope that helps you sort of have a bit of a view on what the reality versus expectations are with the mining jobs out there. I think that this is the column that you need to be in if you want a mining job. That's where you want to end up, and whether it's underground or in the paste plant or wherever you want to end up, that's where the money is at the moment and the full-time jobs are. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you could share this information around and like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.